In this module, we are going to explore the characteristics of the geological features of Earth that we are focusing on in this course. First, let's look at the largest body of water, the ocean. The ocean is an incredibly large body of water spanning thousands of miles and thousands of feet deep. The ocean contains salt water and is also sometimes referred to as the sea. Oceans cover almost 3/4 of the Earth's surface. One distinct characteristic of oceans is that oceans have no real borders and water flows freely between them. There are 4 main oceans: the Pacific, Atlantic, the Indian, and the Arctic. You may have been to the ocean at some point in time. Oceans are fun to play in, but can also contain dangerous sea animals such as sharks. The next body of water that we will look at is a lake. A lake is a large body of water surrounded by land. Lakes have irregular shorelines and also contain coves. Lakes are mostly made up of fresh water, but rarely a lake can be made up of salt water. A lake would generally require a boat to cross to get to the other side. Lakes are fed by rivers, springs, and creeks. The last body of water that we will discuss is a river. A river is a large natural stream of water that flows towards and into a lake, ocean, or another river. Rivers are typically made up of fresh water and flow over the surface of the land. The amount of water in a river can change. Sometimes the water in a river will rise quickly, especially during heavy rain. Sometimes during droughts or dry spells, where there is little rainfall, the river can decrease in depth. The form and shape of a river can change over time, and a river can change the landscape through which it flows. This is a picture of the famous Mississippi River. The next geological feature we will discuss are beaches. A beach is made up of sand or pebbles, and it runs along an ocean, lake, or river. A beach can be made up of soft, white sand. Some beaches are made up of more hard, brown sand. There is even a beach in Hawaii that has black sand. A sand dune is characterized by an accumulation of sand grains or particles. Typically, sand dunes are shaped into a mound by the wind. We think of sand dunes being at the beach, but sand dunes can be found wherever there is loose sand that is blown by the wind. For this reason, you can see sand dunes in the desert and on large farms, as well as at the beach. An ocean ridge is found underneath the ocean's surface that we see with our natural eyes. Ocean ridges are basically mountains underwater. Ocean ridges can range in depth from 1 to 3 miles. Most often, ocean ridges are symmetrical, which means they are the same on both sides. The continental shelf is that area immediately beyond the shoreline. It is a horizontal extension of the seafloor, meaning when we see the edge of the shore, what we call the beach area, the continental shelf extends just beyond the area of the shore that we can see. It is a very gentle slope and has shallow water. The area of the continental shelf is the most productive part of the ocean because sea animal and plant life can live and survive in the shallow water. A plateau is characterized by a high, flat surface. It is usually an extensive area of flat land and usually contains a steep slope on all sides. It can sometimes be enclosed by mountains. Next, we are going to look at the geological feature called a canyon. A canyon is a narrow valley that has steep sides. A canyon is usually created by the Earth's erosion or wearing away. A canyon can also be characterized as a deep ravine between a pair of cliffs. One of the most famous canyons in the United States is the Grand Canyon. Ice caps are characterized by ice that doesn't melt over time. We find ice caps in areas where the annual snowfall exceeds the annual snow loss due to melting. Ice caps are found in locations where all months of the year have temperatures that do not rise above the freezing level of 32 degrees. The air where ice caps form is usually very dry and has very low humidity. You would think that there would be lots of precipitation in an area that has so much ice, but this is not the case. In these areas, precipitation is very small. Ice caps are found at the North and South Poles. Lastly, let's talk about the characteristics of a glacier. One thing to remember about a glacier is that to be considered a glacier, it must move. Glaciers are made of ice and originally form on land, but sometimes they go out to sea. Glaciers may even form on land and then extend into the water. Glaciers are, of course, found in very cold climates, such as Alaska. This concludes our lesson on the characteristics of geological features of Earth.